We've all seen a Brad. Brad isn't the smartest person in the room. He's not even the hardest worker. But he is the loudest. He jumps in before people even finish their sentences. He repeats what someone else just said, but louder. He says things like, "Let's take this offline," even when nothing's been decided. And somehow, people nod. And somehow, Brad keeps moving up. If you're more introverted, you've probably heard the same advice over and over. Just speak up more. Be more assertive. Own the room. Yeah, thanks, Michael. That's like telling a cat to just become a Great Dane. It's exhausting. It's fake. And honestly, it doesn't work. Because here's the truth no one says out loud. The loudest person in the room isn't always the most capable. They're just the most visible. And visibility can be engineered. You don't need to become Brad. You just need a better strategy. Today I want to share the stealth strategy with you. Here's the real issue. To grow your career, you need visibility. People need to know who you are and what you're capable of. That part is non-negotiable. But somewhere along the way, people decided that visibility means talking more, talking longer, and talking louder, owning every meeting and filling every silence. So what happens? Meetings turn into competitions. Who can jump in fastest? Who can sound the most confident? And who can keep talking without getting interrupted? And if that's not your personality, you seem to be at a disadvantage. For introverts, this is where things break. Because you're not just talking, you're draining. Every interruption, every forced comment, every "I should say something here," it costs your energy. By the time the meeting ends, your social battery is empty. You're drained, and you still haven't done any real work. So you end up in a loop. You talk more, then you get drained, then your work suffers, then you compensate by talking more. That's a losing system, and we need to fix it. We need to separate being seen from being loud. Think of your career like a stealth game. You don't run through the front door making noise. You don't try to fight every enemy head on. You observe. You wait. You pick your moments. And when you act, it matters. You're not invisible. You're intentional. There are 3 parts to this: silent authority, the sniper question, and the artifact loop. I will go through them one by one. The first move, silent authority. If speaking in real time feels slow or awkward, stop making it your main tool. Because here's what most people don't realize. Meetings are a terrible place to do your best thinking. They're rushed, they're messy, they reward speed, not clarity. But writing? Writing is different. You get time, you get space, you get precision. And more importantly, writing sticks. A meeting disappears the moment it ends, but a clear message, a short summary, a simple document, that stays. It gets forwarded, it gets referenced, it gets remembered. So instead of fighting for airtime, you shift the battlefield. Here's what that looks like in real life. Let's say you're in a meeting. It's chaotic. People are talking over each other. You have a good idea, but the timing isn't right. The old approach? Force your way in. Compete for attention. Get half your idea out. The new approach? You wait. You listen. You let the noise pass. Then after the meeting, you send this. I was thinking about the bottleneck we discussed. I mapped out a simple solution. Happy to share if helpful. That's it. No pressure, no performance, just clarity. And now something interesting happens. Instead of being one voice in a crowded room, you're the person who followed up with a solution. That is silent authority. You didn't speak more, you just spoke better. The second move, the sniper question. You don't need to say a lot, you just need to say the right thing. Most people go into meetings trying to prove they're smart. They talk early, they talk often, they fill space. You do the opposite. You observe. You listen for patterns. You look for assumptions nobody is questioning. Because every meeting has them. Things everyone just accepts as true, without checking. That's your opening. You wait. until the moment matters. Then you ask one question. For example, we've been focused on the how, but based on last quarter's data, is the real issue actually server lag? And if that's true, does this plan still work? Now watch what happens. People stop, they think, the conversation shifts. You didn't dominate the meeting, you redirected it. And that's far more powerful, because people don't remember who talked the most. They remember who changed the direction. Now, quick reality check. This only works if your question is actually based on something real. If you're just asking random, smart-sounding questions, people will feel it, and it backfires fast. So while everyone else is focused on sounding confident, you're doing something different behind the scenes. You're learning how things actually work. You're paying attention to patterns. You're building real understanding. Maybe you notice where projects keep slowing down. Maybe you dig into past data. Maybe you start connecting dots other people ignore. That's where your questions come from. So when you finally speak, it's not just a question, it's an insight. And that's what gives your words weight. Do this consistently. Your reputation changes. You're no longer quiet. You're the person who speaks when it counts. The last piece, the artifact loop. This is where everything compounds. A promotion isn't random. It happens when you become difficult to replace. And the fastest way to do that is to create things people rely on. Think about it. Every team has a few things they can't function without. A spreadsheet, a dashboard, a process, a guide that explains how everything works. Most people use these. Very few people build them. That's your opportunity. When you create something useful, it spreads. People share it. They depend on it. They come back to it. And your name stays attached to it. So even when you're not in the room, your work is. That's the loop. You build, then people use, then your visibility grows, then you build more. No networking event required, no forced small talk, just output. And when leadership asks, "Who built this?" and your name is there, that's your reputation doing the talking for you. Look, the system rewards loud people. It always has. But that doesn't mean loud people are the most valuable. You don't need to out-talk Brad. You don't need to out-energy him. You don't need to become someone you're not. You just need a better system. Write more, say less, but make it count. Build things people depend on. Because in the end, the loudest person gets attention, but the most useful person gets promoted. If faking an extrovert personality at work makes you tired and drained, it works better for you not to try to be the loudest voice in the room. Instead, be the one people look for when things actually matter. That's the stealth strategy, and now it's yours. If this changed how you think about visibility, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to more quiet achievers like you. And if you don't want to miss what's coming next, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.